All right, welcome again to this edition of Ask Ade Live. And in today's um, episode, I'm going to answer a question about a woman who's in a sexless marriage. I'm going to talk about that. All right, so let's get to the first question. The first question is about a sexless marriage. And what does that mean? How do we define a sexless marriage? And the situation here is that this woman got married to her husband. They met in the university. It was love all the time. They were good friends, university friends. They decided to get married, and they have 3 children. But now the sexual intimacy has thrown out of the window, and it is the woman that is complaining, not the man this time around. And it's not easy on them because the man is usually away. He travels a lot, and so he may see her once in a week or once in 2 weeks. And so our complaint is that even when he's been away for 5-6 days, sometimes more, he comes back and is not excited to be intimate with her. And so if she doesn't do anything about it, they can go without sexual intimacy for months. And so how here the lady, the sister is asking, how do I deal with that? I feel like my marriage is over and my marriage is broken, and I'm imprisoned in a marriage that is going to be sexless and painful. So what can she do? So when we are talking about a sexless marriage, what scriptures do we draw from to get an answer? Now, there are 2 scriptures I want to highlight to you. One of them is 1 Corinthians chapter 17. Chapter 7. It says there, verse 3, the husband should fulfill his marital duty to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but yields it to her husband. In the same way, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but yields it to his wife. Verse 5, do not deprive each other, except perhaps by mutual consent and for a time, so that you may devote yourselves to prayer. Then come together again, so that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. So this is the first scripture I want to highlight. And the reason why I'm placing this scripture first is so that you know why this woman is complaining, and she has a right to do so. So here, the man does not have control over his own body. The wife does. The key here now is you cannot force another person to have sexual intimacy with you. So you want them to willingly offer it. That's the key. My next question would be, and are there situations where you initiate and it refuses you even after being away? And I'm going to assume the answer to that is also yes. Yeah. So if all of this is yes, then it's a very difficult situation, but we can still work some things out. She still has to do something. She cannot just continue to suffer and do nothing. Now, I'm going to assume also that she has spoken to him about the situation, and he has responded like, I like you, but most times I'm too busy in my mind and I just don't feel like doing something. Don't feel like it. I'm just tired when I travel, and I don't, not that I don't like you, but I'm not this kind of a person. I'm a person that can just go for 6 months and that's it. I'm satisfied. Now, if that is the case and other areas of your lives are going well, then it is important to notice that he has some things that are going on in his mind that is blocking him. Okay, so this is more of an intimacy problem than just a problem in the marriage. But that being said, there may be issues in the marriage. There may be issues in the marriage that can still be tweaked to see if there's something that can be done. All right. So here is what I will say to you. Many husbands lose interest in sexual intimacy when they feel that they are inadequate in that area. When they feel that they are inadequate, they lose interest, especially if they are inadequate in other areas of their lives as well. So if they're not bringing as much money as they think they should be bringing to the home, if they are not being promoted at work the way they want to be, if they are not spiritually doing well, they're not doing well spiritually as they think they should, and especially if when they come home, they don't feel that admiration and praise from their wife, then the attraction diminishes drastically. And we can work on that. That's what I would try to tell you to test if you've not done it before. If you've done it before, then we can look for other solutions. But here is what I would say to you to try for at least 1 month. This is a test for 1 month. Now, if you are going through a similar problem, sexless marriage, your husband, you can communicate, you talk, but other than that, there is no intimacy in the marriage. You are not connecting properly and emotionally. You are not connecting properly physically, and maybe spiritually you're not connecting also. We can deal with that. Yes, but like I said, usually whenever I find in 99% of the people that I've dealt with, when they are with me and I'm coaching them, when they have these sexual intimacy issues, it always goes to other types of problems. There are 3 areas that makes a marriage solid. And the first one is communication. So I would try to see, how is your communication? The second one is your commitment. How committed are you to the same big goals, the long-term goals? And finally is the connection. But here, the challenge is with the connection. When the problem is communication, a communication problem, we need to solve that communication problem before we solve the connection problem. Now, if the problem is a commitment problem, we need to solve the commitment problem before we can solve the connection problem very well. So I want to encourage you, do this exercise that I'm going to give to you for 1 month. If you do the exercise for 1 month, then I will be happy to get to know how that went, and then we can work on it. So here is the question, here is the exercise. We're going to try to make sure that your husband doesn't feel inadequate in the home. Yeah, because if he's inadequate in other areas, you cannot change that. He may not be inadequate, but he may be feeling like that. So when he is, I'm going to test the fact that when he's coming home, he doesn't feel that he's going to come home and he will be celebrated. And that may happen. Now, not because you're not a good woman. No, if your husband is not excited to get into bed with you when he has been away for 1 week, I can totally understand why you should be mad at him, why you should make him know that what he's doing is wrong, especially when you've dressed up, you've tried to look beautiful for him, you've made things work out so that he can just come home and you guys can connect deeply, and he doesn't feel like doing that. I can imagine how that will feel and how difficult it is to respond differently. But I want to try something with you. Please do this experiment and get back to me. Here it is. Whenever he comes back home, I want you to treat him with extreme excitement. I know it may not be easy for you, but you can try to do that. So when he comes home, whatever you're doing, you stop whatever you're doing, you welcome him. You hopefully you're home when he comes, and you get him to put his suitcase away. You welcome him. You give him a hug. You give him a kiss. You not pretend. You act excited to see him, happy that he has come home. And you ask briefly about his projects, and whatever he says to you, you say, fantastic, well done, welcome, what would you like? And you just treat him nicely. But I want to say to you, plan that as he has come home, there will be no intimacy this time. In fact, no intimacy for at least a month from your side, and you're going to make him know that regardless of whether there will be intimacy or not, you are going to be fine. This is what we're going to test out. So you're going to be excited to see him. You're going to dress nicely, yes, for him, whether he notices it or not. Make sure you're dressed well, tight, and the way he likes to see you, like a young, beautiful woman who loves him. So you do that, and you also make sure that by the time you are done for the night, you let him know that he can spend some time extra to pray or study or look at his computer if he wants. But you are going to bed, and you just go to bed, and you don't bother to ask him to come. You don't do more. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because his brain is already wired that you are not happy that he doesn't do what you want. His brain is already wired that no matter what he does, he's going to fail you and you're going to be disappointed. So we want to rewire that. We want to reprogram that. We're going to reprogram the fact that you are excited, you are happy, you are doing well, and you want him to come and enjoy what you got for him. But if he doesn't want it, tough luck. He's a loser. He's the one that's going to lose. That's the mind. That's the vibe we want to create. So I want you to test that for 4 good times that he travels. So I'm assuming he travels once. You see him 4 times in a month and spends 2-3 days with you. Yes, I want you to try that. And the goal is you are not going to initiate any sexual intimacy. But when he does initiate, which will be the golden one, if it happens, if he does initiate, and no matter how it is, I want you to say, wow, fantastic, that's great, and just make it a big deal. Then we're going to see what happens next time. All right, so that's the exercise I will give to you. Why am I giving that exercise? Because love is always kind and it's constant. It doesn't change. It doesn't waver. And this is what you're going to practice. That's what you want to practice. You want to practice rewiring your marriage. I'm not saying that what he's doing is right. I'm not saying it's good. I think that any man should know from the scripture that we read that the wife has been away and you have been working. When you come home, it's expected that you should be intimate with your wife. It's expected. But if he's feeling stressed and there are other things that are on his mind and he doesn't feel like it, if we beat him on the head, it's going to kill the marriage. And that's exactly what you're experiencing. So we're going to change that and test it out. Yeah, so get back to me if this works for you, and we'll see what that, right? So that's my quick answer to your questions, my friend. The Lord bless you everywhere, and for every other person that joined, God bless you. May the grace of the Lord continue to increase upon you. And thank you for subscribing. Hey, all my subscribers, I celebrate you. You are precious to me. So if you are still watching at this time and you're not yet subscribed, please do subscribe. It's always a blessing to know that you're subscribed. And I pray for all my subscribers from time to time. The Lord bless you and keep you until tomorrow. Bye for now.